Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's the Snake's Den. I am your host with the most. It's the snake himself, Jacob Gentile. And I have a very, very special guest this evening. We've known each other a very long time. Please give it up for Mr. David Newton. Hello, buddy. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Welcome to the Snake's Den.
I couldn't wait to get here.
I know this is one of my biggest fans. He's actually kept me going the last couple weeks, so I appreciate it as well. But yeah, I've known David for a very, very long time, so it's a pleasure to finally get him on.
I'm so excited I got here early.
He did get here early, which works because the last couple guests, I don't want to call you guys out, but you're late. But yeah, man, how you doing? How's everything going?
All kinds of good stuff.
Staying healthy?
Yeah, real healthy. We'll get more into that. And
oh, yes. Yeah, exactly. That'll definitely tie in. But yeah, I just wanted to, first, before we get into what he's created a very awesome way to kind of heal your mind, body.
At the same time?
At the same time in the form of exercise. So we will get to that. I know a lot of people will like that. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about first how we know each other and just how our relationship kind of built and like where we're at now.
Did you get hired at Divine when I wasn't there, and so then I came back into the picture?
Yeah, so we were. He was my manager for the longest time. I was hired at the restaurant before you opened it. You left.
I opened it in 2005, and I ran it with Mark and Ramon for 6.5 years, I think.
So I got hired when you left that first time. And then you became the manager like a year or two into when I was hired.
I came back and I was in Chandler first, and then I segued back into Mesa.
Right? Yeah. And actually, I always still tell people about you because you're... Okay, it's just my luck, always. It's always easy to get, like, a serving job. But then when I became server, I had to take this test created by him. And I was kind of, like, salty about it because I was like, oh, no one else had to take it, but I had to take it. I know so much more about wine now, though, because I had to take this test because of him, that, you know, I'm grateful for it now. So I always tell people, they're like, how'd you know this? How'd you know that? I'm like, well, this guy, David, he made me take a test. It becomes like a funny story. So I don't think I've ever told you that.
Remind me about the test. It was on paper, right? Or was there an online thing? It was the video series that I had done, right?
You were teaching, I believe, at Chandler Gilbert Community. And so I think at Divine you were doing like the wine test stuff on us. But you made a huge PowerPoint and then made me take the test with all the questions.
Yeah, I was an adjunct professor for the hospitality program teaching the wine course over there. I did that for 2 years. I think that was in 2010 and 11. And then before, I had started a website with Tim Moss called Teaching Wine Online. That got bought out and turned into this multi-level marketing company that fizzled out. It didn't work. And then, I started a platform called Selling Wine Like a Pro.
That's what it was. That's what it was. It was Selling Wine Like a Pro.
Videos, and it was completely dedicated to food servers.
Yeah. Yep.
But
the 30% or 10%, what was it?
The 30% more method.
Yeah.
But it wasn't dedicated to just regurgitate wine information that doesn't do you any good. It was designed for servers to make more money with their wine knowledge.
But I was the only one who had to take it.
No, you weren't.
I'm the only one who took the test.
No, you weren't.
But I was actually, I did learn so much from it. It was a great test.
Why were you the only one that had to take it?
I don't know, David. That's why you're actually on today.
Oh, all right.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it was me and 2 other people that took it out of all the servers that were there.
You know what? You're wrong, because I actually I remember I made everybody go through that. Because it was online, and you had...
It was online.
There was a form. I remember I created that on Jot form, and then you could submit it. There were multiple...
But it was cool. It would talk about,
You've made more money because of your knowledge of wine, right?
But granted, I know exactly. I know how to sell a glass to a person on... They can't really explain what they like. I can ask them questions and then suggest something.
Okay, wine test. Let me give you a wine test.
Let's do no wine test. No.
Hey, this will be fun. I promise. All right. You've got a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
It's from Carmel Valley. and
Cameo.
it's really rustic with like some smoke and leather, and you're gonna use a movie star as an example to sell this to your guests. Go, sell it.
Smoke?
Sir.
Leather?
Okay, I'll be the guest. I'm looking for like a really big Cabernet, something with a lot of grip to it. What do you recommend?
Something with a lot of grip.
You don't remember the John Wayne?
Oh!
There.
I was thinking of you know what?
Sir,
I was thinking of the movie True Grit.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I was gonna use that guy.
Jacob's answer would have been
True Grit.
If it wasn't late in the evening. Which, by the way, you say good evening, everybody.
I do.
Yes. We're tired and it's a little late and you're faded, right?
Yeah. It's late.
That's
really
the sun's
late.
rising.
I know, like you can like see the sunlight in the room. It's like
No,
so
you
late.
would say, sir, we call this one right here the John Wayne of Cabernets because it's rustic and it's got essence of leather and smoke and it's a big bodacious cab. And if the guy likes John Wayne, and usually you're selling a $100 bottle to a big dog, he probably is going to be.
Ooh, little
50
malfunction
plus.
on the mic in the snake's den.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
The bottom one's
Yeah.
He's
He's gonna be 50 plus, right? He's gonna know who John Wayne is, and he's gonna be a fan of John Wayne, and then he's gonna go for that. Oh, we're falling apart.
We're falling apart on the snake's
gonna-
den in here.
He's gonna go for that because he's a fan. So if he likes John Wayne, you're like 95% there. So that was a
You've
test
been there.
that you just kind of failed. This right here.
There we go.
Okay.
Bang.
All right. All right. Sorry to put you on the spot. It was fun for me.
Yeah, no. I mean, I just wanted to bring it up because he is part of the reason why I am good at selling wine, and it helped pay for the snake's den.
Mhm.
So in a way, thank you, dude.
People love you. People love you.
No.
Yes, they love for you to wait on them.
They don't.
Uh-huh.
They walk in and they go, "Who's that guy?" And they go, "Oh, that's Jacob. You want to sit with him?" No. I want to away from that guy.
That's not true. I even saw you last night. You're attentive. You are focused on exactly what you need to be focused on, and you've got 4 moves ahead worked out in your head everywhere you're going and everywhere you're walking. So I think you're a great server.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You can pay me later.
I appreciate it. But let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay.
Run, walk, heal.
All one word.
All one word, folks. So this is, to me, honestly, when I heard of it and when I saw the videos of it, I thought this is the new wave of exercise. People will eventually start using this when they go to work out, when they go on an everyday run. But it is called Run, Walk, Heal. And it's a new genre of music. And I want you to kind of tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, Run Walk Heal is a genre of music that I created. I'm going to tell you why I created it after I tell you what it is. And so it's a long form of music, which I don't know if that is a genre, but I'm pretending like it's not because I really can't find much like that except when you go on YouTube and you listen to these songs that are for meditation. They can be up to like 9 hours long, and all they really are is a 3-minute loop that just loops over and over and over again. But
Yeah.
that,
You do piano music for 2 hours. There's
right.
loops,
and,
loops.
And on YouTube, the longer your video, the more you get paid for your content. Did you know that? So if Justin Bieber puts out a video that he gets 1 billion views on and it's 3 minutes long, and then Rogan puts out a video that's 3 hours long that only gets 1 million views, Rogan's probably making more money from the 1 million views than Bieber from the 3 billion views.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to start making these podcasts about 10 hours long.
Seriously, so how much
No, that makes
advertisement
sense,
can
though.
you
That makes
fit
sense.
into?
Well,
You
think
know?
about it, though. A 2-minute video is 2 minutes of content.
With very little space for
Very-
advertisement.
Yeah,
Right.
but the way they're looking at it as you got 1 billion people that looked at 2 minutes of our YouTube channel.
Which has some value, eyeballs on it, but
Yeah, of
and you can
course.
squeak in a commercial at the beginning or
But
have
that's
you-
easy for the people to do nowadays. So they look
Yeah.
at Joe Rogan. He can keep people's attention for 3 hours
Mhm.
on their YouTube. People are watching for 3 hours. It's hard not to pay that guy
Right.
more. You know?
Okay. So the
Yeah,
reason,
yeah.
so but the music is like 35 minutes long. Usually a song is 30 to 35 minutes long, and you might ask why. And the reason being is because if you're running a 5K, which is going to be 3.1 miles, it takes an average runner about 30 to 35 minutes to run a 5K. All right?
That's probably, is that average? Like,
well, to me, I wouldn't want to run less than a 5K every day or every other day. It just doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah, if you don't go that much. Yeah.
For where I am as a runner right now, right? And understand, a year ago, I had just started running. So at 50, I started running. Before that, I hated running.
You're 50? You look good, dude.
50. I'm 50.
He looks like 36. No
You
lie.
didn't know I was 50?
No, I did not know you were 50.
I was born in the,
I thought you maybe
I was born in the
42.
60s.
Oh, wow.
1969, but
69?
1969. And I was going to make a Mr. Rogers reference, but that goes into what we decided not to talk about today.
Well, you can make an Epstein reference now.
My wife's watching that. Shout out to Paula. But
It's a good show, dude.
I haven't seen it. But she, with like Tiger King or whatever that was, and I just like for her to tell me about that stuff rather than seeing the shit show. But anyway, so
but yes,
long form music, it doesn't really exist. And what had happened is I was running. I'm going to go into
that is
how
true.
I came
like
up with this.
A long, yeah, you're right. Like a long. I see what you're saying. That doesn't exist without being on a loop.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so this is how it started. I was running to that song by Eminem that I always call One Chance, but it's actually called, I wrote it down over here.
Won't stop, miss your chance to blow. That song?
Lose Yourself. Lose Yourself.
It was that
song. Running tempo. That's running tempo.
Is it 8 beats per
It's
minute?
175 beats a minute.
Oh.
All right?
Okay.
Okay, so hear me out. So then, and I ran to it, but it only lasted 3.5 minutes, and I got kind of a high. I got endorphins. I felt like Rocky running up the Capitol steps, from the movie.
Of course.
Okay, so then I searched online songs that were 175 beats a minute, and I found the middle, Jimmy Eat World. I just take some time, running tempo, bum, bum. And then I went into one of my favorites. Don't make fun. Nickelback, Edge of a Revolution. All right, we could go even deeper into like.
Nickelback's not bad.
Nickelback is awesome. It's just there's a bunch of sheep out there on the internet that copy other sheep, bagging on them, and in fact they're really serious, excellent musicians, great songwriters, and they're great businessmen.
Oh, I can imagine. Great hair as well.
I don't know about that.
You see his hair always is flowing in the wind. Every music video. Look that up.
Did you know that song, the one about the Call Me Maybe? I just met you, and this is crazy.
Of course, yeah.
They produced and own the publishing to that song. She is on their label.
Who?
Nickelback.
Nickelback?
That's Nickelback.
That's not Nickelback.
It's their label. Yeah. She's Canadian, too.
They produce nothing but hits.
Dude, and then when they go on tour, they're not getting expensive hotel rooms. They're all sleeping on the bus. They're like doing a conservative, money-making tour. They're businessmen. And so they kind of got bashed for being serious about it rather than being artists and rock stars, right? So that's my personal opinion on it.
Hey, I'm sorry, I don't want to OD. that's kind of like what they're saying. Sorry, I don't want to be addicted to coke.
They approach it from a business standpoint, but they are true artists and blah blah. All right, so we're way off track. Anyway, so I'm running to these songs, but each one ends, and also they're not always 175 beats a minute, or they don't start off the song to where there's a tempo you can run to, right? So as I was running to these songs, I was thinking, man, there would be a great form of music that if these songs were longer with no vocals or there was very little vocals. And at the same time, I had been practicing meditation, and I think I have practiced it for about 3 years now. About the time I had something really rough happen in my life, I started meditating. It really helped me out, leveled me out, took irrational thinking from here down to here. Every time I take breaks from meditating or fall off the wagon from meditating, the rational thoughts start to creep back into your head. You realize how insane you are when you stop meditating. So I keep going back to meditation, especially when I really need it.
Yeah.
And it really helps out. So I was meditating and I was running. I was trying to fall in love with running. And I was actually asking people who run, it's like, what do you like about it? And when you see somebody get up really early in the morning and run really far, and you don't run, you must think they are a psychopath. Why?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Until you understand that there's a tremendous amount of pleasure in what they're doing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So anyways, so I started, of all things, started writing a screenplay. And I don't want to say the title of the screenplay because it's one of the best titles ever.
You're on the snakes then. I want an exclusive.
No, because I'm not done with it yet. I'm in editing right now.
Okay,
and
okay.
The title is so good that I don't want anybody to sneak it out before I... All right, but it has
But
to
you
do
gotta
with,
come back
It
and
has
let
to
us
do
know.
with super entrepreneurs. That's a hint, all right? So anyways... Oh, I will. Anyways, so the screenplay is about this guy that creates this really simple app, this music app. So my music app
Yes.
is based upon this fictional screenplay app.
Ooh.
All right? And in the screenplay, the guy has it to where on your phone you can adjust the tempo with a slide of your thumb. So you could take it, like everybody's legs are a different length and everybody runs at a different pace. So what's a great, so a song that's at 175 for me, somebody with shorter legs would slide it down to 155, and that would be better for their pace. Right?
And even if like you're just starting out, you may not be moving as fast.
Right.
You're gonna have to pick a different.
So that's where I'm going to go with it eventually in the
Nice.
short term, but I can't do that yet. I first of all have to test and measure, see if this is actually something that other people want than just me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm putting them out as videos on YouTube. And when you go to YouTube, you actually, in my playlist, you have 175 beats a minute, 170, 165. There's also 180, 185 beats a minute.
Oh, nice.
So each song has three.
So what's slow and then what's fast? Is it low number, slow?
180 to 185 is like somebody who was running a half marathon. That would be
Okay.
their pace.
Okay.
Somebody who's a beginner would be about 165, maybe 155.
And you can check all this out on his YouTube channel, Run Walk Heal. He'll have the different levels you can listen to if you want to get started as well.
All one word. All one word.
All one word. Run, walk, heal.
Okay, so.
But yeah, so the screenplay.
So the screenplay. So this guy creates this app, and then he also records all the songs and the healing frequencies that we're going to get into, otherwise known as the Solfeggio healing frequencies, which I discovered through doing my meditation. I was looking on YouTube for guided meditations, all right?
Okay.
And I'd come across these healing frequencies, and all it was is this droning hum for 9 hours. but like if it was in 528 hertz, which is DNA repair supposedly, it would.
Whoa! You can't just skip over that. What is the frequency?
528 hertz is DNA repair, and something else. I forget. I'll look at.
So you're saying, no, well, obviously it's not going to just heal you, but you're saying they could like possibly heal maybe genetic defects?
So it's a pseudoscience. There's no
Yeah,
real
yeah.
science behind it. But
That's
I will
what I
tell you
said.
two things about 528 hertz. Is they have evidence that it is molecularly restructuring water. All right, and we're all water, so that's a big deal.
70%.
Right? And then I saw this video of they were taking frequencies and they had sand on top of this piece of metal, and they would vibrate the
I've
piece
seen
of metal.
that, yeah.
And the healing frequencies would actually create a really artistic, cool pattern.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that.
any other frequency would create chaos. So there's structure to it.
I've seen that.
And-
That kind of gave me chills, actually.
So this is where the healing frequencies, I believe, are coming from. Now, I'm just a student of sonic geometry, and I don't know everything about it, but the rabbit hole that I've gone down is the Sumerians, which is a race from 5,000 years ago, created the first written language, and they also supposedly are the civilization that created time. All right?
Oh, like
they broke a day in half, 12
Yeah,
hours
yeah,
of day, 12 hours of night, and then they broke that down to an hour, and they broke that down to seconds. And
Wow.
a frequency is based upon seconds. So seconds isn't something existing naturally in the world. It's something that we as humans made up.
Yeah.
All right. So when you say 528 hertz, and then you look at all the the mathematical resonance it has with the Fibonacci sequence, otherwise known as the golden ratio, and the Fibonacci sequence, and all these mathematical formulas that are truly related to nature and to the universe, it has a resonance with it. But then, as a scientist, you can say that's complete arbitrage because we made up seconds. But if you go deep into Sumerian history and their writing, they'll tell you that they did not make up time. They got it from some other race. And I'm not going UFO. I'm not going alien.
I see what you're saying.
I'm going, what's this?
Well, if you think, if we're like the smartest that we've ever been, if you're going way back then, how could they have, thought about the seconds and minutes and hours and
Well, how did they
months?
build the pyramids of Giza at the very beginning of the Egyptian civilization, which is a bunch of bull crap?
So new
We know
stuff
that now.
came out. I don't want to get into it.
Okay, so
That stuff's been there before the Egyptians.
What I'm saying is that I think that we can only record history for 10,000 years because it seems to fall apart after that, right?
Yeah.
But over 10,000 years ago is what they're estimating the Sphinx and the pyramids were built and blah, blah, blah. And so what I'm saying and the pieces I'm putting together is that there were more advanced races long, long ago, and it might have happened over and over and over again to where races get to a certain level and then something catastrophic happens and we kind of start all over again. So what I believe is that the Sumerians actually got this information of hertz and frequencies from a race that we have lost in the midst of time. All right. So possibly not. Anyhow, back to it. Where were we?
Well, so how did you kind of stumble upon this? I heard you talking about.
So
you
I
were
found
at
the
some
frequencies.
school?
I was meditating.
I
found the frequencies, and then I would go to the gym and I'd get on the treadmill and run, and I started coming up with this idea of this guy who invented this app. It was what I was thinking of, long form songs. You could dial into not only the tempo, but with another slide of the thumb, you could dial the intensity of the song. So if I have it all the way down on 1, it's super mellow with just a little bit of arpeggios. The drum beat is as simple as the drum beat can be. But if you dial it all the way up to, like, let's say 5, it's like where my music is, right?
Yeah.
If you dial it all the way up to 10, dubstep and crunch guitars and just the huge intensity is there. So in my story, this guy creates this app that you can adjust the tempo and you can adjust the intensity of the song, but all the music is in healing frequencies. And when he goes to do this, it turns out that the healing frequencies are super effective when you actually get your heart rate and your body temperature up to a certain level. Kind of like the DeLorean in Back to the Future when it hits 88 miles an hour, something magical happened. So that's the storyline.
It's kind of crazy.
So what happens is he pisses off the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church in my story and folklore on the internet has actually, I don't know, I turned it off. I put it on airplane mode.
No phones in the snake stick.
I put it on airplane mode. I'm going to
So
have
you
a word with
you
that
did.
person. Whoever that is.
Sorry to interrupt.
What if it's a
Go.
client?
I know.
Anyway, so where was I? So he pisses off the Catholic Church, and then the Catholic Church comes after him, the church mob, and he gets adopted by this group of people who all have inventions that are about to release that are so disruptive to all industries that they have to stay in hiding or on the move. So they all get together, and they constantly are on the move together to protect each other as they release these total disrupting products that are going to completely change the world. So this is where this idea came from, right? And then as I was doing, I was like, well, I could probably come out with a version of this that would be step 1, level 1, phase 1, and blah, blah.
Get people into it
So
slowly.
I started thinking about how it could be done, and I had produced music for like 20 plus years on platforms like Pro Tools and something along the lines of what I ended up on, which was a program called Ableton. And on Ableton, you can create music and you can adjust the tempo, so all of the music can go faster.
Is it just a basic editing software, Ableton?
Yeah, it's like DJ software to begin with. Now it's really evolved into like the main one, right? Pro Tools used to be it, but this is, to me, in my personal opinion, a function above it, right?
Okay.
So I had to figure out how to use that platform. So I found this school in Mesa called AMP, A-M-M-P, all right?
AMP.
And I went in and I signed up for classes, and I was a 50-year-old guy there taking classes, and it's all like young, people your age wanting to DJ.
I don't think that's okay anymore, David.
So anyway, I and then because I met these guys and they were like my people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I found my tribe. These guys were all just like me, and they love the art form of production and everything. And as I got to know them, you stinking? You smelling? You washing?
Oh no, we're good.
I just saw you doing it.
Yeah. I didn't want to.
So
to the mic.
Oh, I thought you were going for your armpit.
No. Yeah, I'm worried about that right now.
So anyways, AMP, A-M-M-P, in Mesa, I eventually told them what my long-term goal was.
Mesa, Arizona, correct?
Yep. And then when I told them that, there was like 3 guys there. The owner, Brandon, Michael, we all just started putting our heads together, and we kind of like were going, could we do this? Could we actually create music in the healing frequencies, right? And so we actually figured out how to do it, which we weren't sure until we actually got all the way to a final step and realized that this is indeed going to work.
Question though,
yeah.
How can you see if it's working?
Because we can measure the frequencies in
But like
software.
for you, are you feeling?
Okay, that's
you know what I mean?
a whole. Okay, so what I did is I developed the structure of the music over about 5 or 6 months to where I would record it and then I'd go running to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And at that time, I didn't know how to actually record the music in the healing frequencies. So I was running to this and going back into the studio, changing structure, working out this. Adding a layer of richness here, decreasing it here, just figuring out the structure of how I could create a 35-minute song.
Yeah.
Which I had nothing to go on. I had no model that I could follow, right?
It's hard, yeah.
So running. Then we in the studio we figured out how we could record this in the healing frequencies. So then I started coming out with music that was in the healing frequencies, and as soon as I did that, I started getting sick when I would run, which is completely the opposite of feeling better.
Like, so you would just feel like not
I had to stop. I was getting sick to my stomach. Because what was happening is right when I started running to the healing frequencies, my body started to talk to me in a way that was really surprising. And what it was is, you know, I was a sommelier for a decade.
Yeah.
Wine is part of my culture. All my friends, my wife, we are, you know, we're wine people, you know. And I realized that I had to take better care of myself. My body had started identifying itself as toxic. And I wasn't like that before I started running to the healing frequencies. So indeed it did help me, but what it did is it showed me where my body was, and it allowed my body. So I don't think that the frequencies go in and heal you. I think that we have ancient software in our brains. That same ancient software that makes us concerned about being attacked by saber-toothed tigers, fight or flight. Right?
No, yeah.
That's software that we have from way back when. That's still there, right? So back before we had doctors, we had the ability to heal ourselves. I believe you
had to. Yeah. You had no other choice.
It's our species survival depended upon it, right? So what I think the healing tones are doing is actually telling our bodies to heal itself. So the healing frequencies aren't healing us. Our bodies are healing us, but the healing frequencies turn on the software.
Yeah. Oh.
That's what I'm thinking. All right. That's where I'm at. Now, where I wound up going with this as I developed it is a thing called mindful running. And mindful running, I didn't know was a thing, and it is something that I'm not the first one to come up with mindful running. And there's a book about it. There's a couple of websites. There's 4 videos on YouTube, and that's about it until my videos, right? And what I'm doing is when I'm running, I'm doing the same thing I do when I meditate. Meditate is, people overthink it too much, but what I'm trying to do with meditation is completely push away thoughts. And every time a thought comes into your head, I go back to focusing on my breathing. So my breathing in and breathing out, and the functionality of your lungs is amazing. And why is my foot asleep?
It's so hard to get there.
And this side of my ear is kind of numb from the way I slept last night. And you just do this full body scan, and you keep focusing on your breathing, and then all of a sudden this thought starts creeping in. It's like, is Jacob going to call me to go get rid of that thought, get rid of that thought? And so you're constantly interrupting your meditation through these thoughts that creep in.
Yeah.
So all meditation is losing you're trying not to think of anything. When it does, you push it away.
You're trying to become at peace, and those thoughts disrupt peace.
And every time you push it away, it's like a bicep curl for your brain. And the more you meditate, the less rational thoughts you will have. And when you stop
Or
meditating,
less irrational thoughts.
yeah, sorry,
You will be rational if you meditate.
yeah, irrational. So anyway, the is this going to run out by any chance?
No.
It goes on for okay, cool. All right, because I'm long-winded today.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay,
We're good.
all right. Anyway, so where was I?
Yeah, no, the mindful running. So
Okay, mindful
are you using this mindful running to kind of propel the run, walk, heal in its way? Like,
Yeah, it's actually turned into the main platform. So now
Okay,
instead
yeah,
of like
it's become
pushing
the
the
core.
healing frequencies, while all the music is and will be recorded in the healing frequencies at multiple tempos, the main focus now is mindful running, which is when you run, you focus on your breathing and staying at pace with the tempo of the song, right?
Yeah.
And then you focus on in, out. So left, right, left, right, left, right, left, and the half tempo of breathing in, out, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, in, out.
well, what I
in,
noticed
out.
from watching your YouTube video, when you're, because it shows your feet, when it's running, it is so in sync. And so when I first, without having you on, my first thought is you're creating these 30-minute long, frequencies that can get you into that zone of running.
Yes, and where
Right?
you are meditating and running at the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly
And
what I
this
felt
is,
though.
This
watching
is how
it.
these people run for such long distances.
Yeah.
And there's cultures around the world that go back thousands of years as runners that run
Totally.
all day long
All
without
day.
stopping.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
And they're
yeah.
like monks that do this.
Yeah.
So anyway, where I've taken it now is to where mindful running is more of my battle cry than heal your body through running. And so meditation and running has turned into a thing for me to where it causes it to turn into a motivation, and that motivation turns into a habit, and then you find yourself running 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, 5 days in a row. Your body starts speaking to you at 50 years old, and you're like, all right, let's take a day off, and then let's run again. Or you go out on Friday night, and you drink a little bit more than you would, and then you're like, that's not a good idea to run on Saturday, so I'm going to run on Sunday or something like that, right?
Always pushing it on.
Yeah, so that's where I've kind of gone with it. But the long term with this, besides the app where you can slide the tempo and slide the intensity, is I'm now working on a batch of songs. I've got more running songs coming out. I'm now working on a batch of songs that are for walking, at walking tempos.
Yeah, see,
All right,
you need.
so-
That's what I was thinking. We need like a walk, jog, even. and
All
run.
in the healing frequencies.
Boom, boom, boom.
Walking tempo is going to be about 115 to 125 in between there, right? And then I'm going to come out with cycling tempos of songs, so 135-ish above and below, somewhere in that area. So they'll be running, they'll be walking, they'll be cycling, and I'll just keep pushing it. But here's some of the challenges I'm running into right now. One is I pay $10 a month on YouTube, so I don't have to watch a single commercial. And by the way, with the
YouTube
election,
Red.
the election that's coming up, you're going to get bombarded with commercials on YouTube unless you pay $10 a month, which is one glass of wine, to not have yourself bombarded with commercials. I don't have that. So when I would listen to my own stuff and I run to my own stuff on YouTube, I don't get interrupted with commercials. But if you're running and all of a sudden there's a commercial, you're like,
that's true. It's
it'll
going to
drive
interrupt
you
that whole
nuts.
zen.
It'll drive you nuts,
Yeah.
and it'll mess up the meditation process and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I've gotten some feedback from people online.
That's true.
And these running groups that I belong to, like on Facebook, that are like, we had a hard time with it. And first of all, it's not a we thing, it's an individual thing. This is something you're doing internally in your brain. So there's some distortion with that. I haven't figured it out. I'm thinking about getting the songs on iTunes
Well, I was
for
going to say
downloads.
Spotify and iTunes might be the best way because you don't need video for it, right?
I think Spotify is going to be the way to go because with what Rogan's doing.
Yeah, Rogan.
I think that Spotify is going to be the next YouTube or YouTube's
Exactly.
new
Yeah.
competitor.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to hold a weight with YouTube.
Well, once they get videos on, I don't see how they are not the next biggest thing because,
Yeah.
I mean, they already are the most listened to as far as streaming music.
I pay $10 a month for Spotify.
Oh, yeah, so do I.
did Pandora for a couple of years and then I switched over to Spotify.
I don't like Pandora. I want to listen. I want to find my song. I mean, if you want to find new music, Pandora, I guess, is the best way because it doesn't go off the artist you're looking for. It just goes off of what they're about. But
Yeah.
I think Spotify is absolutely the way to go. And if you get your Run, Walk, Heal, the mindful running, all on there. I mean, that could definitely propel you to the next level as far as people listening.
I think that's the way I'm going to go. I need some counseling. I need somebody to help sit down and help me work this out.
My mom's been telling me that for a while. Therapy and counseling.
No, I need like a consultant or something like that. And by the way, I design and sell swimming pools.
Yeah.
And that job is consuming. It is a super hard job. And because of COVID-19, all the people that were going on a vacation to Italy or taking a cruise or what have you, they're not doing that now. So they're going, hey, let's build a pool.
We want pools.
So the pool business is on fire.
I bet it's boom. Well, it's summertime in Arizona. Not only is it 110, but like you said, they can't go anywhere.
I think that if COVID would have hit in the wintertime, swimming pools still would have blown up like they are right now. But yeah, everybody wants a pool.
So a lot of people have extra money too. Like
there's a lot of equity in their homes right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
it's a lot of money.
It's crazy. So I have to be more focused on the swimming pools because it is my lifeline. And while it's a hard job, I love the job. I love designing a pool, and I love seeing somebody's finished backyard.
Do you want to give a shout out to your
poolandlandscapeaz.com? Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Darren. And
go check them out if you guys want.
We have excellent ratings.
Beautiful pool.
Beautiful. Yeah, and we're not the biggest pool company, but we're not the smallest. We're just packed full of talent. And if
you want to support mom and pop businesses, this is definitely one of them. It's a couple guys I actually know. Most of them, they are great people, just normal guys like us. Started something from the bottom, and they're, being successful, and that's what we like to see.
Yeah, Pool and Landscape AZ.
There you go.
Okay, so mindful running. The history, okay, I got into... So let me talk about that. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah, what did you want to finish with?
So real quickly, the history on the Solfeggio healing frequencies goes back before...
Hold on, time out. Say that a little slower for the audience. Solfeggio. So does he make Italian clothes as well? Or is he just...
So here's the history. Okay, so back when Gregorian chant was the only form of music, have you ever heard of Gregorian chant?
No.
The monks going...
Yes.
That was originally in the Solfeggio healing frequencies, otherwise known as the only musical tones that history had known at that point in recorded history. And so the Benedictine monks were teaching and developing this style of music in these frequencies. Now, this is something I read online. It's not necessarily true history, and I don't want to offend anybody that's Catholic. This is just... It could be conspiratorial, it could be the mundane, it could be a bunch of bullshit. But this is what I've learned. That the Catholic Church felt that it was too much of a connection to the divine.
The frequency?
The music. So instead of going to church, you could go and listen to this music and get the same healing effect that you could get from going to church.
And they did not want that.
They didn't want it.
Of course,
they felt it devalued the church, they buried this in the history of time, and now it's coming out again, which is part of the fictional story in my screenplay.
That's just a conspiracy, folks.
Yeah, not necessarily true. But about 1,100 years ago, it was literally all this music was changed, and then there's a whole nother debate of 530 or 432 hertz versus 440. All the music that we hear on the radio today is based upon 440. What it originally was should we have a dog moment?
All right, hold on, let her in.
She's never been on, right?
No, she's never been on the podcast. Isabel. This is my dog, Isabel. Come here.
Oh, we're gonna throw up.
Throw up. What's up, Mama?
Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay.
No, she didn't.
Isabel,
she did?
That was a terrible entrance, Isabel.
Okay. Well, all right. Okay, here a second. That was Isabel. Sorry for the interruption. She just wanted to say hi.
Okay.
Throw up.
So anyway.
But yeah, the Forgiano.
Yeah, it's the Solfeggio.
Solfeggio healing frequencies.
So it kind of began there, and they got buried in this time, and this is where we are now.
So how did, real quick, if we could fit this in, how did he find that?
Who?
Do they know? Solfeggio. How did he find that?
That's just the name of them, and there is speculation that that's not a person. It's just what they're called. Yeah. No, it was like the John the Baptist is the Benedictine monks that was finalizing it in writing, I believe. But yeah, so anyways, it went away. But 432 hertz versus 440, all right? 432 is in line with the universe, has mathematical resonance with all these frequencies. 440 sets the person at dis-ease. Dis-ease.
Uncomfort.
Disease.
I mean.
Rioting.
Oh, dis-ease.
Craziness.
Yeah.
So there's theories that our music...
Conspiracy? Could the
Conspiracy,
government
yes,
throw out
yes.
frequencies to make people riot?
Not necessarily. But maybe it was...
You heard it here first.
Maybe it was... I don't know. Anyway, but when we go back into these museums and we find flutes and bowls that were instruments from like 3,000 and 4,000 years ago, they're at 432. From centuries and from millennia ago, they're at 432 hertz. So there's just something
There's
about
something
it.
there, yeah.
And then there's this great video on YouTube about sonic geometry that'll blow your mind.
Yeah, if the audience wants to look any of this up any further, can you give them just one or two things to look up?
Yeah,
what would be the
search
key things?
on YouTube sonic geometry.
Sonic geometry.
Right? And maybe we could put that in the link below.
Yeah, we can put that in the bottom. Sonic geometry, folks. We'll put it right here.
So anyway, that where I am right now is I've released about 10 songs or 11, and they're all in the healing frequencies. Each song is at either, if I wrote the song at 175, all right, I also mastered it at 180 and 170. If I wrote it at 170, I mastered it at 165, 170, 175.
Yeah.
So as I go further from that, I have problems, so I can't change the tempo too much without creating mastering problems. So
Have they created a software that can get you there yet, or is it just super expensive?
you know what? I'm staying in a safe place, so
Yeah.
I haven't pushed boundaries yet to see what I can do. And maybe between myself and AMP Mesa, I'll be able to take it further. But so that's where I am with it right now. And
Nice, man. Well, it looks awesome. Like I said, I was looking at some of the videos last night. Like, I was kind of just getting lost in that meditation myself, just kind of listening to it. And, like, it's weird. Check it out, people, because, yes, he is onto something. The frequency just kind of... It's hard to explain. You almost just feel it. So I definitely recommend you guys go check it out.
And I think that the structure of the music, because of its long... By the way, it is a loop of about... Like, I write a song, an instrumental song that's 7 to 10 minutes, which is based on patterns more than anything else. And so what I'm also understanding is that if there's somebody in the spectrum of autism, they you know, I have a friend whose son is deep in the spectrum, and he has to keep starting the same song over and over again for his son because it drives him nuts. Does that drive you nuts?
Yeah, I can just... It's just metal clanking.
Anyway, so maybe people in the spectrum are going to appreciate the pattern recognition that'll help calm them down. See, these songs are 35 minutes long, so you can listen to it for a long period of time, and like you can concentrate, you can drive long distances, you can clean your house, you could work on a project, you could...
Well, there's not a lot of studies out for it. So if you guys would like to help him out and AAMP out, kind of maybe do it yourself at home. Like he said, you can clean your house and kind of see how you feel and maybe send the results over to them.
Yeah, talk to me.
You
Let
can
me
build.
know.
You can build studies, and then we can kind of see if this really is something that works. You know.
Yeah. So on Facebook, I'm mindful running - run walk heal, and I don't even know what I am on Instagram because I've.
We'll put his social media stuff on here too.
Okay.
I'll tag it in
All
there. But yeah, we gotta wrap this up. But it is great talking with you, David. I'm so glad that you actually came in, and
this is my favorite podcast, just so you know.
And he's such a great guy. He's been giving me such great feedback. I mean, so if anything, if these are getting better, kind of thank him as well. But yeah, mindful running, run, walk, heal. Helped out with the AMMP. This is Mr. David Newton. We'll put all the information here.
Pool and Landscape AZ.
Pool and Landscape AZ. It's getting hot out, folks. You're trying to get wet in the summer. Get yourself a pool.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much for hopping on. Don't touch me, bro. Corona. All right. And we are out of here.